Hello.
Nailed it.
Hello there. Hello, children.
What are you doing? What are you doing in here?
Hey, kids.
What have you downloaded? You shouldn't be listening to this.
What are you doing here? I was just finishing.
How did you get out of the cage?
I made a mess.
What are you doing in here?
here?
How much have you seen? I was just looking at some pictures on the internet.
Oh man.
Oh gosh. Well, this is awkward.
Dark.
No, I had a
dark.
scratch on my down there. I was just scratching
Oh
it.
my
It's
god.
really
I
itchy.
spilled Coke all over the place. That's what all the paper towels are for. What do you mean? There's Coke all over here.
I moisturise my hands all the time. I'm really dry and chapped otherwise.
Man.
Don't worry, Eddie. Welcome back.
What a dark
How
start.
you guys doing?
Yeah. Good.
It's been a week
Yeah, it's
of
been a long-
pubs opening
Yeah. Everything
in
is. You guys.
Greater Britain.
Yeah, you guys are getting there. Starting to
Great.
I
get there.
refer to
Greater
this
Britain.
this week as the hobo period. Everyone is looking so shabby because the hairdressers aren't open, and everyone's got beards and looks like you could tell they've been either cutting their own hair, or their wife/girlfriend has had a go. Yeah, they're not looking their finest, but
Not looking
they're
tip
happy.
top. Not looking tight or fresh. Really. When
People
you-
are feeling the good vibes of booze generally that is being served in public places. You know, who knew that paying, overpriced and sitting in the freezing cold to have a drink that you could just do, and you have been doing for the whole year, would feel so good.
Yeah, well,
Strange, isn't it?
And
It's like a new experience. It's like going to a theme park.
yeah, that's
you know?
it. It's like a new lease on life, right? Everybody is just like, wow, shit.
Who needs Disneyland? The local shitty pub.
They're all vaccinated. They're fucking ready to rock and roll, baby. They want to get out there. They're single and they want to mingle. They're wild and crazy guys.
Oh my goodness.
They want to get out there.
So,
I guess.
as I've been out in Bristol this week, I've been hearing. We were chatting about the Bristol slang, right? And I thought I could ask you if you guys remember or know or can guess what some of the local Bristolian slag. What some of the slags they are.
See if we can guess which ones are slags. And
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously a classic like West Country saying would be Gert Lush,
Right.
right?
Right,
Gert
of course.
Lushmich, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Which
Not
means-
familiar with that one whatsoever, but I'll.
That is a real Bristol thing.
Can
I'll
you
accept
guess?
it. I'll accept
Yeah, it means it's really good. It's like it's awesome.
Well, it means rather nice. How about Scrumpy Sips? What's that?
Scrumpy. Isn't that like a type of cider or something?
It
It
is.
is.
It gets you
That's
proper
right.
fucked up. Gets you right
There's
fucked up.
Scrumpy Jack. Is that the one? Am I right about
Yes,
this?
it is. Absolutely.
There you go.
Good, proper Scrumpy should come in a jug with a hoop
With
at
a-
the neck.
a Triforce branded jug?
Not a Triforce branded
Right,
jug.
okay.
No,
Okay.
that's for boiling water
Let's
and
move on.
splashing it on
Yeah.
prisoners.
That's for a prison
Fellow.
assault. Yeah.
That's for
Right.
survival. Yeah.
That's for making a statement on day one. You wouldn't use a Scrumpy jug because it has quite a narrow neck. You'd be there forever. Triforce jug
yes.
is capable of a proper, like a quick attack with boiling water in prison. That's specifically the use of the Triforce jug.
I feel like we've jumped right into this like slang thing, but there's an elephant in the room here. Can we just talk briefly about how Prince Phillip has joined the rest of the Jedis now in heaven and speaks to us now
Jedis?
from
You mean Sith?
ghost form?
So
joined the Sith
we
along with the
literally
Pope,
talked
the
about
old
him
Pope.
the week before he died. I felt pretty bad about.
I don't think you can feel responsible
mocking.
for triggering the death
No,
of
a 99-year-old man. I mean, it was.
a man.
It was
I mean,
bad.
also, it's like we'd done it on a previous episode, so I don't think it was the trigger for anyone that was.
Well,
No.
he'd kind of been in the news a bit anyway because he wasn't very well. So
Yeah, he
there's
had, like, a heart
he
condition
was
and
probably
stuff.
on the front of your mind.
Yeah.
But he might be a long-time
Anyway.
listener, so that might be why he's not well. Like the first time he heard me
He
do a
gave
stupid
up.
impression of him,
Yeah.
he was like on a downward spiral from then, and then this finally tipped him over the edge. That's my concern. So I would
Good
like to
old-
apologise to Her
yeah.
Majesty the Queen
Yeah.
and everybody out there that's a big fan of
Interesting insight
racist
into.
old Uncle Phil.
I like the little glimpses into royal life that you get every once in a while. You know, when they do like a press release or whatever. after Prince Philip died, Prince Charles came out of one of his houses and made a little brief statement and referred to him as "my dear papa," which is kind of, I don't know how to feel about it actually. Like, it's on the one hand, it's kind of like, oh, you know, whatever, like that's his dad. But on the other hand, who calls their dad dear papa? Like, other than the royal family, you know what I mean? Like, it's just such an upper class thing to say,
Yes.
right? I wouldn't know a single person who would ever refer to.
I'd like to sing a brief song about my papa, if I may. It goes like this. Oh, mine papa. Oh, gosh. Oh, mine papa.
With the fucking,
You
it's
were
always
so
the little,
fucking old.
it's the fucking facial expressions too, eh? He's
You can imagine it.
Like, it's like that's like ooh, all the time. Oh man,
There must be like
good
this
shit.
psychology of still kind of having it, because Prince Charles is 73 or something,
Yeah,
right? He's
right.
a very old man,
Yeah, right.
relatively speaking. But you know, Prince Philip was 99,
Yeah.
and you know, he was married for longer than most of us will live. You know,
Hey, listen to this though, okay? I like on the topic of it being 99, and I was thinking about this because, of course, rap superstar DMX also passed away on the same day. As,
he was
Prince Philip.
99 as well.
He was
lived a
not
good life.
99. Correction, he was 50, which
69,
is pretty young actually to die.
Wow.
He's had some. I think he had issues with drugs and addiction, like pretty much his whole life and stuff. And a couple of years ago, he almost died as well. I think 2016. He just, in a parking lot in New York, just stopped breathing for a time.
Oh, shit.
And
I mean, that's probably a
people
good
were kind of
move.
worried about him then as well.
Holding your breath. It might have just been holding his breath.
But interesting to think, DMX who died at 50, the year DMX was born, okay, and like you remember DMX throughout like the late 90s when his albums came, his big albums came out.
I
and
will
everything.
say, I thought he was dead already.
Right, okay. But when he was, with the year that he was born, Prince Philip would have already been 49 years old. That's insane, right? Like, he's already kind of like pretty old, and DMX is
Yeah.
only just a little babby, and then goes on to live 50 years, and then Prince
a
Philip
full,
and him die on the
rich
same day.
life filled
wild,
with
eh?
hip hop and
Yeah, I just thought that.
drugs, probably.
Yeah, and you know,
So
hanging
I
out.
actually I didn't know any DMX songs apart from that X Gon' Give It To You, which
yeah,
I believe
that was I think arguably his like biggest song. Like,
So I didn't realize that was him because I didn't like
What
that
other
song.
X
I
did
didn't
you
know
think
that
was going to
either.
give it to you though?
Well, I thought
Like,
there might have been some other X's that I
different
was
X.
I thought there was
Exhibit,
another
maybe.
rapper called X. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Exhibit could have maybe given it to you as well.
I
Yeah.
think that's quite a cool rapper name, just X.
Well, he
You know,
said
I'm sure.
X Gon' Give It To You.
Yeah,
and
well, I mean, he referred to himself often as X, so like, I mean, you're
So
right.
that
it
was-
is-
It's like
that
a
was what
quicker way,
confused me.
because
Yeah.
DMX, it's like calling yourself Christopher, you know? It's quicker to just say,
yeah.
Chris Gon' Give It To You.
MC
you gon'
Christopher.
give it to you.
Actually, that's not a bad name. Actually, MC Christopher.
Christopher.
Yeah, it's
It's never been
strong
fond
name.
of
It
it.
has to be Lil Chris.
One of
It's
the
all
best names.
Lil something.
Lil Bow Wow, Lil Romeo,
Lil Chris. Lil Chrissy.
yeah, Lil Kim,
Pissy Chrissy.
Pissy Chrissy, little pissy,
Yeah.
pissy piss pants, Chrissy piss pants. This is triggering me hard, by the way. So all the
Good.
memories are coming back.
Chris Gon' Give It To You.
It's going to give it to you. I pissed myself. Yeah, no.
I wonder whether, because, like, if you always hear, like, people... I don't know, does it change who you are if you always have this kind of authority figure? Like, once your father's died, I mean, fortunately, my father is still alive, so I don't really know, I don't really have a reference, but I wonder whether people feel more independent, or they feel like they're suddenly the patriarch, you know, or they feel more authoritative, because Prince Charles spent his life as a prince, which has a title very much associated with youth and waiting and, you know, kind of being in the wings.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder how much that's changed his psychology of. I wonder if his life has felt like he's waiting in an airport for a plane that's never come.
Oh yeah, poor
I-
Prince Charles with his life of massive privilege must be.
Yeah.
Just wish I was king some days, Camilla.
Charles, you just need to wait for those other 2 crowns to die, Charles.
Camilla, I know, but old Papa, my beloved Papa, is clinging on. Who knows how long Mummy will go for?
But he's checking. He's one mark closer to the throne. You know, he's one step further now. I mean, I reckon it must change you as the way you think and act and behave. These types of things that maybe
he probably went through phases of it. There was probably a time where all he wanted was to be king, and then he's probably, now that he's older. I mean, I don't know him, obviously. And I have no insight into this whatsoever. I'm just pulling this right out of thin air.
Well, you're the Londoner, P. Flax. You're the most likely to know.
Yeah, that's it. You live pretty close to him.
I'll pop round.
Yeah, just see if you can get past like the anti-pleb devices that they have installed all over their properties.
Fucking be going off right away. The moment I'm in vision of the palace.
But no, if I put myself in his shoes, and I got to the age of like 70, whatever, I think I'd be done, right? Like, I would just be like, you know what? I was ambitious at a time, and now I'm just like, whatever. I just, I'm tired. I don't really want to do anything now. I'm kind of glad I didn't have to do it.
The other thing is he'd have to go through the whole hoo-ha.
Yeah.
What is it? Not commiserated.
Jubilated. He'd have
jubilated.
He'd have to whatever you call it. Yeah.
A right old jubilation. Coronation.
Coronation. Yeah. He'd have to go through all that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting. I like every once in a while when the royals do sort of like feature again heavily in the news, and you get these like little insights or whatever.
I like it when one of them dies.
No, it's just like, I just like the little insights that you get into like their lives, but like you never know if they're genuine or not, right? Because they're so.
I guess they are the OG reality TV. Family.
Yeah.
I suppose it was always supposed to be this sort of role model, really, or something, or at least, if not a role model, at least something that, I don't know. It's always been that's not a role model at all. But so it is bizarrely royal. It's kept at arm's length, isn't it? With all of its ceremony and pomp and circumstance, and over time they've had to continually evolve what the royal family is, especially in this century, where so much happened.
Arguably nowadays, there's a lot of calls for them to not exist. They're not relevant anymore.
But that's always been the case. They were chopping their heads off 100 years ago, and then, then obviously, they sort of resolved after the Second World War to kind of just be this kind of cutesy mascot almost.
Yeah.
It's very strange, but they've obviously, their role has evolved there's been various outcries over time of them, and it's like history repeats itself as well over and over again, with Harry and Meghan being the black sheep, trying to be normal human beings and kind of getting kicked out. It's this strange cycle of they keep making the same mistakes as well, of being so weird and stuffy, and
it's almost
stuck in their ways.
It's almost like people
they
never
can't help
learn.
but alienate people in their own family and behave in this way it's almost an unfixable problem, but it's by its very nature of how it is, and so it's appointed by God and all this.
There's still a tremendous amount of support for them, though, like the outpouring of like public support for them anytime anything happens or anything they do, it's crazy.
Like having a dog, though. Do you know what I mean? Everyone, like, if some celebrity has a dog, everyone's gonna be like, oh, I hope that dog sticks around. What a lovely dog. It's great to have a dog, isn't it? Everyone.
What are you on about? How is the royal family like someone owning a dog?
Well, it's because it's like just...
It feels like a part of your household somehow, right? There's some sort of odd comfort factor to it.
There's this weird patriotic kind of attachment to them as well. Like,
I think it's utterly bizarre that people...
It is.
Like, it's just it's such an odd historical hangover, the whole royal family thing.
Yeah.
From, we are still a monarchy, lest we forget. We've got some weird thing where she's still the head of the state and the church and all the rest of it. It's odd.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
It's odd. I think a lot of people are wrapped up in the fairy tale idea, though, as well. These, the classic idea of princesses and queens and kings and romance and living in palaces and that idealistic idea of what life is in
it's
a
just
palace,
very strange. It's very divisive. I know a lot of people who really hate the royal family and what they represent, which is, literally you're born into
vast wealth and privilege, and the fact that it's still there is such a.
There's lots of ways to be born into vast wealth and privilege.
course.
without
Yeah,
being
of
in the
course,
royal
But this
family.
is literally
But I
like,
think it used
hey,
to be one of the only
these are
ways.
this is your royal family. They're kind of super important and posh and dignitaries. It is. I mean, obviously, you could just be born the son or daughter of a Bill Gates or something. Or, obviously, it's the same deal. But you're not publicly toadied to in the same way. I think it is strange that they're born
you are
essentially.
toadied to.
It's strange. It is very strange. It's hard to explain to people who don't have a royal family that it's just
it
always
is
been there.
strange to have this kind of like this strange status, right, where you are at the top of that ladder, in the same way that schools like Eton still are going, and have
Right.
had these long traditions of the whole place is full of wealthy people with connections, and they've always gone there, and they still are elected prime minister every time. It's old Etonians again and again. And I read a little bit about Eton this week. So there was this guy who wrote about his experiences there. I think he was black. So kind of he experienced a bit of racism and a bit of, as you'd expect, in a place which is as predominantly, white and kind of this like training ground almost for political kind of haranguing, so Eton has all these bizarre traits where it prides itself as this leadership school, but really it's kind of a suck-up school, if you like, where because the prefects elect the next year's prefects, right? And so in order to become and have status in this school, you have to be a suck-up, you have to be a certain kind of character, and you learn the way to placate and politicize, as part of the social structure of the school. And so it has this kind of nasty side to it where you can be excluded or bullied, or people will work to turn people against you, and there's a lot of infighting and a lot of drama, I guess. We would call it a lot of tattling behind people's backs and telling one person that another person said something about them, and a lot of fighting of that and building factions. It sounds horrible.
Yeah,
honestly.
I wouldn't want to go there. I wouldn't want to even send my kids there. And then you have to spend a lot of money for the privilege as well. It's like, I don't know. It doesn't.
Yeah,
really
and I don't know.
Great.
It feels like this sort of very odd remnant of old.
Yeah, it is. That is like a very sort of.
But you meet people from with a specific way of speaking, and you can't help but think about them a certain way too. I think if I were to meet the Queen, I would have trouble not being very deferential and very not sure how to behave and wanting to obey rules, and follow, I don't know, strange instructions and precedents. Oh yes, you must bow 3 times and then
and all
nod
that
your head.
Stuff.
And
there's a lot of old traditional stuff as well, right?
Yeah, I think I'd find it very hard not to be respectful of these just bizarre kind of things that are really have no relevance in the modern world.
Do you think you ever get to a point where like like the first time you meet the Queen, you're very aware of like the like the traditional stuff and like whatever, but then like the more you guys hang out, like you're playing Super Nintendo every day or whatever, and you're hanging out a lot, do you think you'd get complacent with that? Like you'd just like stop curtsying at some point, and then she would like remind you gently like you're meant to curtsy and you haven't, sort of thing, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, but I just beat you at 200cc, bitch, like what are you gonna do about it? And she's like, curtsy, and like you can't get away from it. Like it'd be kind of weird.
I mean, it must be weird trying to have friends as a royal, because I mean it'd be like being essentially the Queen is the most famous person in the country. Her head is everywhere. Every time you spend money, her face is looking at you right there. She's a big deal.
Yeah, she
right?
is. Yeah,
her marriage is a big deal, and I just think it would be impossible to have it like a friend that you didn't think, they're just my mate because I'm the Queen, innit?
Well, I think it's the same for most like big celebrities and stuff like that. Oftentimes
yeah, but they could be mates with other
them,
celebrities.
No, I know, but oftentimes you hear them say like, I've got
that's how you get incest.
I've got everything, but I feel lonely.
Exactly.
And it's because the people who are around you, you're constantly second guessing them because you're like, why is this person interested in me? If I didn't have all this influence of money, would this person even care, sort of thing, you know what I mean? And they think that about everybody, even other celebrities, right?
But those other celebrities tend to go out and marry and fuck other celebrities because then you know that you both have a stake in the game. If you would just date some normie, there's a chance that they're recording everything to go sell it to the National Enquirer. Like they might just be a nut who's like looking to bring you down.
Yeah.
So it must be, if you're the queen, you couldn't just chill with a couple of homies. It would be tough, because who's to say that Beryl over there isn't actually snitching to the news of the world?
Well, yeah, and I mean there have been cases of,
and it doesn't even have to be like juicy gossip. It could just be trivialities.
Yeah.
You know? And I think it's got to be hard to make friends. And I think.
Who's that guy that made a career of it? Basically,
Paul Burrell.
That's the guy. Fuck me, man.
Former butler
former butler to Princess Diana, and you'll always know about it. Like every time he's on.
Burrell exclusive. Di preferred neighbours to Home and Away. More on page 8.
Yeah.
He's still digging out memories of Diana, like some fucking weird psychic.
And the worst thing is that any time there's like a show of looking back or anything like that, they always get him in. Like, I don't know why they can't just say, like, okay, let's not include Burl this time. Let's see how it goes,
I think it's the Americans, and hear me out here, Americans. They're fucking obsessed with our royal family. They love it, and they're always. Oprah interviewed Meghan and Harry, right? Like, what? Why not? Someone over here, because they give a real shit
thing.
Yeah, but they love it.
I think I want to say about Americans is I think Americans have a high tolerance of super rich. Would rather the super rich remain super rich because they think that one day they will be super rich. And I think they're really chill about having the idea of a royal family and princes hanging around, because one day maybe they might get to be a princess, just on the off chance. Right. You never know. I might meet a prince or meet a princess, and maybe in a bar, and then we get chatting, and we have a lot in common. Maybe they don't have many friends, they feel isolated, they can't tell anyone.
Yeah, it's been a tough lockdown.
Isn't that a movie with J-Lo?
As a stranger.
What's that movie where they meet a prince?
I'm dating them for a few years, and then finally they tell me,
There's a J-Lo movie where she's like a maid or something, and then she falls, or like the rich guy falls in love with her or something like that.
Is that Maid in Manhattan?
I think it is. Yeah, I actually think.
Yeah, 2002 film Maid in Manhattan. It is directed by Wayne Wang. Starring Jennifer Lopez and Ralph Fiennes.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Power couple of the early 2000s.
Which one was the royal one?
Ralph Fiennes. He was in everything. You remember? Like every goddamn movie that came out in that period of time.
He is still in a lot of stuff. Yeah. I love Ralph Fiennes.
I think J-Lo would make a pretty good princess, though. J-Lo is a princess, basically. The modern equivalent,
fucking acts like one.
And she looks great, like, considering she's, like, kind of old now. She's still looking pretty good, I guess one day maybe that'll change, but enjoy it while it lasts, I guess. I'm sure J-Lo is. Jeez.
Well, us or her?
Well, but all of us, yeah.
We'll enjoy it.
All parties involved.
Everyone should enjoy J-Lo while it lasts.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's one of the finer things in life, I would say.
That's it. That would be the introduction. Here's J-Lo to present the award, and everyone enjoy her while she lasts.
Damn, she's still looking fine.
Enjoy her while she lasts.
We're not sure how long for, but...
Let's make the most of it. J-Lo, come on up here. Shake it while you can, baby. Let's see something.
Hey. You guys, you two listening right now.
Oh man, sorry, I can't pay attention to you. My bush is out of control. It's stressing me out.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you over the sound of my vast
It's all
bush.
muffled because of this bush.
You need to try out our sponsor today, Manscaped, as these products will be life-changing.
Is there cream for my balls?
Yes, and you can win a ball sack beauty contest if you sign up today. Manscaped.com. You can use the code Triforce to get 20% off. It's an exclusive discount. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And there's a lawnmower. There's like special creams. There's like cologne.
Yeah.
You can revive the ball skin if it's getting all dry.
Listen, you get 20% off, but you can take 100% off your balls.
Of that stubble in there. Yeah.
We won.
You can. And you can leave them smelling irresistible. You can make sure your balls are perfect for that Tinder date. When she's going to be blown away.
Yeah.
And you will be blown It's just in general.
Oh, as well. Just leave that. Leave a pause. Awkward pause. That's right. Manscaped.com, code Triforce to get 20% off and free shipping. This is what happens when they don't provide a script. Thank you
for your
So
help.
you can support them. Manscaped.com, code Triforce, 20% off and free shipping. If you still got bush, you should fix that. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
On with the show. So yes, I have got a list. This is my prep for this week of Jersey slang.
What happened in Bristol
Jersey
slang?
slang.
Oh, I've still.
Okay,
I've
yeah,
still
we'll
got a
do
couple
Bristol
more.
and then let's do Jersey. Let's see if I can get any of them.
I'll ask Sips the Bristol slang, and then I'll ask P Flax the Jersey slang. How about that?
I might not even know any of it, but we'll see.
What is Cheers Drive? Sips.
I have
Cheers Drive.
I have no idea. I've never heard
That's
that
what you say to
before
the
in my
bus
life.
driver when you get off. Come on.
Is it?
That's right. That's what
Is
you
that
say to the
is
bus
that a
driver.
Bristol thing?
It's particularly Bristol.
Oh, I thought
yeah. It's
I
bad
thought we
luck
were on
if you
Jersey
don't.
stuff. Sorry. Okay, so we're on Bristol stuff still. Okay.
Sorry, you got to put your
You're
mindset.
getting Bristol.
Okay, like, let me get my
Imagine you're in Bristol.
my mind
Cheers
into
Drive.
Bristol. Yeah. Okay. Now
That means
This is
sit
some
off.
of these are quite common across
see,
the
we
West
would
Country.
say hail to the bus driver, like where I come from. Hail to the bus driver.
You would
Bus
say that as you got
driver
off the
man.
bus.
Yeah.
That sounds like a kind
Oh,
of
hail to
the bus
driver,
driver, bus driver.
what
Bus
is
driver.
Arca E? Sips.
Is that
Arca E.
is that like a Christmas thing? Like hark all ye angels, joyous
No.
and triumphant.
It's sarcastic,
oh,
like,
heart.
oh, get a load of this one here.
Oh, right, okay.
Ooh, Arcady.
Completely
That's right. Yeah.
off.
Look
Sorry.
at you. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's sort of used if someone wants to be a bit flash.
It's
Right.
a derogatory rhetoric.
That's right. This one you might actually get P-Flex, but this is hard. Gashead.
A gashead.
What's a
Bristol
gashead?
Rovers fan.
It is a Bristol Rovers fan. Oh my
Oh my
god, that's
Flax,
very
you're
specific.
like a trivia master here.
That is a bit of masterful trivia.
Hey, just a slight off tangent on this exact topic. A show that I've discovered recently that I'd never really bothered with before, but I am actually liking, and it's on tonight, is Taskmaster. Holy crap, what a show!
Taskmaster, a fantastic
Oh,
show.
it's
one
so
that
good.
all the people in Yogs watch.
I love it. I've been
religiously.
watching it a lot, and I gotta say it's a great one. I love the humor.
it's
I
a
love the
really great
quirkiness.
show.
It's just such a well done show. Anyway,
I
carry on.
have a show to recommend as well, very quickly, if I may. Which
Go
I am
for it.
extremely late on this, but Line of Duty.
Oh
which is
yeah,
like,
my wife loves that. I started watching
Line
a
of
bit
Duty
of
is
it,
a
and
great
I
show.
liked it, but I just never got back into
Oh,
it. But she's watched
I'm
all
so
of it.
into it.
She
I'm so
loved
into it. So series 6 is out like now, I think, or seven. Or whatever. I think it's
got
6.
what's her face from the Scottish woman who's been in she was
Kelly MacDonald.
yeah she was in
Yeah.
Boardwalk Empire, and she's
And
in
she was in Trainspotting.
Trainspotting.
Yeah. She's great.
Yeah.
So I'd never really watched any of it. I'd walked in on Mrs. F watching it. She was like rapt.
Yeah.
Rapt attention. I was like, what are you watching? She's like, Line of Duty. I was like, no.
Line
It
of
just thought it was
Duty.
like Line of Duty. So it's just like I thought it was just another police show. Let me tell you something.
It sounds like another
It
police
does.
show,
It does.
and honestly,
It is another
yeah,
police show, but it's a
is
pretty
another
good one.
police
Yeah.
show.
It's a belter.
a good one.
I
But it's
love
actually
this show.
it's actually pretty good. Yeah.
No Omar
I
though.
like it.
I mean, I don't. I feel like now I need to have Omar in all my police shows. Like I need to have that.
I'm going to go so far as to say that this feels like the British Wire in a way.
I think
characters from previous episodes will pop up.
Yeah.
There's quite long story arcs.
Yeah.
It's quite detailed, and it's very specific to the procedures of the police. So there's a few things that they do. Like in the episodes, quite consistently. I'm only on series 2, so no spoilers, please. One of the things they do is when they interview someone, they seem to have gone for as authentic as they can, whilst also then chucking in absolute bonkers stuff that would blows your mind. But if they interview anyone, they push a button on the recording and it goes for like 5 seconds, and it goes, just for the record here, I'm DCI Cumlany with DC's Spunkers and Shithouse, and we're interviewing the suspect under caution. And then
DCI Comrade's here as well. What's this?
DCI Shithouse, if you'd like to proceed, please look at exhibit 43HG47, which, as you can see, is a picture of my butthole. If you'd just like to have a look at that. I'd like to step in here and say this is against police commission guidelines. You take that up with the DCSI P34. Okay, Will, I'm coming in from AC-15 and I'm telling you, you've got to sign this now. And it's all very procedural.
It's procedural, yeah. It's like a very, very police procedural show, right?
But there's no humor in the show, like, to date. In the 12 episodes I've watched, it is a humor-free zone. So the humor is in how seriously they take it. And there's this guy, Ted Hastings, who says things like, let me think, he's Northern Irish, I think. Or he's certainly Irish, so he'll say things like, your team were bossing the game and you've given away a penalty and stuff like that.
Jesus Christ.
I love it. It's so funny. And he says, Mother of God, quite often. And God give me strength and stuff. And sort of puts his head in his hands. Everybody's very somber and serious. And they seem to hide, when it comes to women that are on the show, they all have to have quite big eyes.
Yeah,
and they have to
they have to
stare
actress,
quite a bit.
Eyes are
She has big eyes.
Yeah.
But there was another lass called Georgia who was in it for a few episodes. She had quite big eyes. It's interesting because when I was watching Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all the ladies on that show had to have very big bosoms. Very big bosoms. Like all of them. So,
right. I love the use of the word bosoms.
I love the word bosoms. It's a great word. So
Go for
because
it.
it's kind of friendly, the word bosoms. Like if you say tits, that feels like, I mean, you know what I'm talking. It's the same.
It's also
same
gender
thing.
neutral. You know, you could say, bosoms for a man. Too.
Yeah.
You could say, yes,
absolutely.
I hugged him to my bosom. It just means, your chesticle area. Doesn't necessarily mean you've got bazongas there. You might just be like I am, just ripped, and it might just be muscle.
If you had really gigantic tits, would you just be used to having them, or do you think as a superhero maybe sometimes they would get in the way, sort of thing? Like as a guy, I got a pretty big Johnson, but like if it was any bigger, for example, comically bigger, I would find it hard to fight crime with.
I think certainly.
I'd have
for
to
any
wear
women out
something
there-
really tight to keep it packed in for sure.
Well,
Yeah, that's why sports bras-
If you are
sports bras
if
are a
you're in a
thing.
fictional series, you can be any way, Sips, and that will never impede you. The size of your ass or your Johnson will never get in your way.
And you never see a
in
male
TV series.
superhero with just a big ass. Sometimes you see like a man who just has kind of a big ass, not even like a well-toned horse's ass. It just looks like
J-Lo's ass, but just on a man.
Yeah, but on a man.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Let's get a
didn't think men tend to
superhero
have
who is just kind of out of
butts like
shape.
I'm ready for a butt implants guy, a gritty British crime TV show.
I just want a superhero who's just a little bit out of shape. He's got that fucking Teletubby shape.
Oh,
to him.
you want him to have like a dumper, like a fat dumper, not
an actual dumper. But still, I don't want him to be so big that he can't move around and fight crime. He still has to be. But I don't want him to also be.
I want
super
him to
muscular.
do an interview, grill like a suspect, and then when he stands up, the chair's stuck to his ass.
Yeah. The sides
Well,
just couldn't
Andre-
fucking separate themselves
Andre
from
the
his hips.
Giant had a big ass. Andre the Giant's ass was enormous.
He did,
Apparently,
yeah.
apparently I was
He
listening
had a
to
very
podcast.
sort of Teletubby shape as well, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
He used to have to shit in the bath and then wash it away with the shower hose.
You got to
because he couldn't
respect
fit on
that.
the
You got to
toilet.
respect a guy who realizes that and then does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, what choices do you have?
Well,
Man,
I think most people would just be like, the toilet, this is what the toilet's designed
Well,
for.
no. No,
I'm going for it. I have to
What do
use
you
the
mean
toilet
no?
no matter what.
What do you mean no?
Look, if you had to take a shit, imagine the scales are up, right? Imagine that guy is obviously huge, and so a toilet maybe to him is the size of a saucepan, or maybe even smaller, like a Tupperware. Or an ice
A
cream,
little Tupperware,
or butter,
like
a
the
butter
little
tub,
Tupperwares that you
right?
put carrot sticks in.
It would be like-
the
Let's just say
tiny,
he's
tiny
so
Tupperwares.
big that
Yeah.
it's like trying to poop in a butter.
it's
a
like
butter
an
container.
egg cup. Yeah.
In an egg cup.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Okay, the scale's wild.
that's stressful
but
to think about.
Are you saying you'd rather just go in the bath than try and poop in an egg
That
cup?
would be
Is
a
what you're
good
saying?
Taskmaster challenge, actually. Do
Well-
diarrhea into an egg cup, but none of it can spill over. So you'd have to have perfect control over your
And
diarrhea
aim.
and aim as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's
And
the
that
thing.
would ruin your breakfast.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
it would.
absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, it would be
So
ruined.
he was obviously an enormous guy. Andre. I mean, the clue is in his name. Andre.
Andre, yeah, that's the clue.
So there was a
Jack.
podcast where I think it might have been on the fucking Joe Rogan podcast, which is a shame, but because he's a dickhead. But there was a guy on there who was a wrestler.
Just casually throwing out some beef towards the biggest fucking podcast in
It's
the
probably
world.
Jake the Snake, right? Was it Jake the Snake?
It might have been Jake the Snake who was working with him.
Yes,
and
yeah,
he
it's
essentially
Jake the
had to
Snake.
drive him around.
Yeah, that was Jake the Snake. at
So it was a
one point,
really
yeah.
good story where he said that Andre was like, he didn't speak much English. He was like, beer.
Yeah.
So he was like, okay. So he had to stop to get him some beer, and he went in and got him like a 6-pack. He was like, no, a crate of beer.
Yeah.
So he had to get like 36 cans of beer. And in the time it took to drive from like the offie to the hotel, which was like an hour's drive or whatever, he'd necked the lot.
Yeah.
Like he
He
drank
was just
and
he
ate
was a,
a
he was
huge
a,
amount.
a gigantic man. Like just
He was a
nothing
big guy.
affected him. Yeah.
So he would have to poop in the bath. Now, Lewis, I understand that's not normal behavior. That's why it's a story about Andre the Giant. Because, you know, if you're pooping in the toilet, and he must have tried this and had experience with
He
it.
wasn't that big.
He was big.
He was
Are you saying-
enormous. He was
He was huge.
absolutely enormous.
He looked
How big
big.
was how big are these
Dude,
basketball
he looked
players?
big compared to other wrestlers. That's how big Andre the Giant was. They're all
He
big.
was 7'4". That's huge. But how tall are some of these basketball players? What's his Yao Ming or whatever his name is? How tall is that guy?
Right, but there's
I think
tall.
Manute Bull was pretty tall.
There's tall,
or
and
is
then
pretty
there's
tall.
tall
Sure,
and
still young.
wide. So the
So
difference
Yao
between
Ming is 2 inches taller than Andre the Giant was. Are you saying Yao Ming has to shit in a bath as well? I'm just saying.
I'm saying that Andre the
I don't-
Giant's
well,
ass is bigger than the entirety
Yeah,
of Yao
Andre the
Ming.
Giant was 7'4" tall and 7'4" wide as well. This
Yes.
is what
He
Flax
was
is trying to
huge.
say. He was
His
very
hands
big, yeah.
were like the size of a normal person's entire chest. Like his hands were fucking huge. The dude
Yeah.
was massive.
So are you saying that an ordinary toilet to him was just like a Coke can to
Imagine-
us, and he just crushed it
I
between
know.
his
I'm
hands?
just saying, this man has experience.
Imagine you had the BFG over for lunch, right?
Can
He's
you
pretty
imagine
big.
if you had the BFG over for lunch, right?
Okay, yeah.
And he left, and you went into your
No.
bathroom, and you went, oh, have a nice bath. You go and look in the bath. It's just like a fucking German sausage in
He
there.
knows what happens when he shits in a normal toilet. It gets stuck. He
Yeah.
doesn't want a stuck toilet.
The pipework is fucked after he's done in there too.
So he
like-
goes in, and also it's much harder to get rid of a very, very large stuck poop that's in a toilet
Yeah. So
than it
what-
is if
okay,
you're
so
in
what-
the shower. That's
So what?
his
So
theory.
he shits in the tub and then he sprays the shower on it to like break it up and like liquefy
I'm
it
not
so it
saying
goes
it's a
down the
pleasant
pipe.
situation. I'm sure that Andre the Giant would love it if toilets were big enough to accommodate what is undoubtedly the biggest poo you've ever seen.
Fucking hell, why don't we just take him out in the road and let him shit in the road like a horse, and we'll just put some fucking hay on it? Jesus fucking Christ. What? Where are we getting? Where are we going?
Just got
with
this amazing visual of Andre the Giant in his wrestling leotard, unstrapping from the one arm, just squatting in the road and taking a crap. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Guys will come along with a shovel and they'll be like, that's the good for the cabbages. Do you know what I mean? Fucking, what
Right.
are we doing?
I'm just saying the lad had no choice. Like, him being that size, it was a curse. Couldn't use a normal toilet. Doubt that any women could have sex with him because his hog would have...
I feel like
been
toilets
so
are
mighty.
like. I mean, the scale here is like off the whack though. The toilets are not that small. They're big. Like
They're big compared to
kids
you.
fall in them.
You're likely to slip in and get sucked down by the vortex of the flush. You're a small
Andre the
lad.
Giant is like 1,000% bigger than the average child, though. This is what Flax is trying to say. Like, he's huge. Like, if he sat down on a toilet, it'd be like that time Homer Simpson was on the little clown car. You know, like going.
Okay, look.
it'd
Here's
be
an
like that.
example. Here's an example. You know, in the toilet, sometimes there's a kids urinal, and that's the only one you can use, and it's like
Right.
lower.
Yeah.
Right. And you can reach it. It's fine. Right. Are you saying that that he wouldn't be able to use normal
I'm saying
human?
I very much doubt that a toilet. I mean, if you go to America, there are certain places where the toilets are much bigger than normal, and the choke on the drain pipe is much bigger than normal because they have to accommodate
the
the huskier butt. Like, it has to, these are some big asses coming in
That's
here.
such a weird thing to think that there's such an industry around people who are big now.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
I'm saying that it's all very well judging the man for shitting in a bathtub and then washing it away with the shower head. It's disgusting. What choice does Andre have? What choice does he have?
I don't
He's
know.
stuck with
I
us.
don't know if this is true. Anyway, we're gonna move on.
Lots of opinions, lots of passion in this one as well. Everybody really wants to get their
what
bit
is
in, you know?
Sips? What is a babber? Babber.
A baby? Is it a baby?
Isn't actually. No, it kind of means sort of
Somebody who
my
talks
loved
a lot?
one, someone I care about. It's
Oh,
like kind of a
right.
term of endearment. It's like something
Right.
that you say to someone as my friend, my babber, my
My
lover.
babber, right? Okay.
Yeah,
No, I'm
you can
not
call them
familiar.
babs as well.
I'm not familiar
Babs.
with that one either.
I
Never
hadn't heard that one.
Anybody say that
babber.
before in my
You haven't
life.
heard of that?
No.
I'm not from Bristol though. I'm not from that part of England at all. So
Do the Jersey one. Let's hear it.
Yeah. What are? I don't know. I've never heard of any of these. So Sips.
I probably
these
never have
these
either, but I'll try
these
my
have
best.
no-
I'll try my best.
Beeshies. What are beeshies?
No idea.
Is that a very fancy way of saying bitches?
No, it's
Mabishis.
apparently a slang
Mabishis.
term for sideburns.
All right, Bishis. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I
you
mean,
ever used
maybe
that?
my wife's mum would probably know a lot of these. We should get her on one day. Actually, she'd
right.
be interesting.
Well, in that
She's
case,
an
just
interesting,
put your
interesting gal.
imagine she's here.
Right.
Put yourself in the mind of her.
Right.
What is a grolly bag?
No idea.
It's a handkerchief.
Right. Okay.
What is a mullard?
Is
No
that
idea.
a mainlander?
Yes, probably someone who is a bit daft or unintelligent.
Oh,
Right.
There you go. A mullard.
Right.
What is a pushdang?
Pass.
An umbrella?
Sips, you are hopeless at these.
I know.
You are not a true Jerseyite. Did I define
These are probably
Ontario?
like things that 80-year-olds say, though.
Pushdang
To be fair.
is a bicycle. There you go.
Right.
Hang.
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 Is it like a expression of fatigue and sort of
Deep regret.
I'm done, forget it, it's over. This is no
Yes, it is.
Is that what you would say
hell.
after you've been forced to shit in a bathtub and wash it away with the hose?
Probably. Well, no, you might say ba cry.
Oh, by cry I've heard. That's like
By cry.
I don't know what it actually means, but it's kind of like I'm trying to think of the context where people would say it because my wife's mom would say that sometimes. It's like a really, really, really old Jersey saying, but
Is
it's
it like by
um,
Christ almost?
Kind of, yeah. I think so.
it must
like
be.
you would sort of use it in the same sort of context that you would that. I think.
What-
I might be wrong.
What is a colon mashon? A colon mashon?
a colon mashup. No idea. I don't know. I've never heard that.
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but apparently it's the Jersey word for snail.
All right.
So this is like an odd mix of almost French. Some of these, obviously.
Well, there is a Jersey dialect called Jerseyese, which is an offshoot of French. It was like the French, like France French. The French used to call it like peasant French, like almost like farmer French sort of thing. And it's still around, but it's more like historically used. Like I don't think people actively use it, but back in the day, like a long time ago, it was fairly commonly spoken, I think. But it does look like butchered French when you see it spelt out and stuff. It's
What is crefton? Crefton.
no idea.
Sips.
No idea.
P-flex?
Crefton.
I guess I got to leave my garage more often, right? And get out there.
Is it one word?
Get
Yeah,
out there
maybe I'll
mingle?
give you. We're at the pub.
I want to
and-
get my Crefton means to get drunk then.
No, it's someone who is tight with money, especially when it comes to buying drinks.
Bloody
Wow,
Crefton.
right.
All right.
Fucking Crefton.
Okay, and then what is sheg? Sips?
Sheg.
You might have been called this.
No,
Sheg.
never.
You've never been called sheg, not
No.
by none of the other Jersey
Nobody
dads.
would dare.
Does it
Nobody
mean
would dare.
handsome?
It's another word for mate.
Ah.
Oh.
Yes, I think mate in the sense of friend mate,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
opposed
of
to
course, yeah.
These
lover
are
mate.
really these are really old things to say. Like again, like my mother-in-law's generation probably wouldn't even say it. It would probably be like her parents that would have said it, right? So people who were born in like
You've
the
done
20s
terrible.
or whatever.
You've done terrible. What
sorry,
about?
sorry.
Jeez.
While I was looking for that, I found
failure.
I found something which might work better for you, Sips.
Right.
New Jersey slang.
Oh yeah.
I
let's
don't
hear
think
it.
I'm gonna be hopeless at this too, but like
we'll
I'll
get
try.
it
I'll
all.
try.
We'll get
I'll
it
try.
all. No
Yeah.
problem.
So
Let's go.
Down the shore.
Down the shore. Let's go to the beach.
Go to
That is it. That is it.
Go to the beach.
That is it. Go to the beach. That's right.
Pretty straightforward. Nice.
What
We're
about
one for one?
let's go to Benny.
Go to Benny.
Like an ice cream.
Benidorm. Go to
But
Benidorm.
it's an ice cream. Let's go get an ice cream. It's
it's
got to
a-
have something to do with ice cream.
It's a not so nice word for the people. Actually, it's not a place. It's not
It's
a place.
homophobic,
Right.
isn't it?
It's people who infiltrate the Jersey Shore during the summer. It's kind of like like tourists, I guess.
Like the
Right,
bucket and
Bennies.
spade brigade, like they would call them
That
over
must
here.
that must be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wawa.
Wow, wow.
Wawa is.
My wife.
It's
The police?
apparently it's a convenience store. It's a really great place to shop. The best place in Jersey. The
Go
chain.
get some cannolis at Wawa.
Yeah, that's what it is. Pork roll.
A pork roll. Now,
Is that
what
like
kind of
gabagool?
bread you having on that?
Some gabagool.
They take their pork rolls very seriously.
A hard roll.
Yeah, they
a
take
hard
the,
roll.
but it's got to have pork in it. It's very hard. You got to have the exact right combination, or it's not a Jersey pork roll. I remember a friend of mine, a guy claimed he was from Jersey, and my friend was like, "You ain't from Jersey." He goes, "Oh, what kind of bread you having in your pork roll?" And he was like, "Oh, just regular bread." He was like, "No, this guy ain't from Jersey. Get him out of here!" Like he, you had very specific.
It's a hard roll.
Yeah.
With egg and cheese. You have your pork
Right,
roll.
you gotta have it
It's-
just
It's
right.
breakfast. It's just breakfast meat. You know, it's delicious.
Probably like
Sure.
spam, right? It's like spam.
Basically.
I love
well,
spam.
also, there's Taylor ham. That's a different one. Apparently, it's like a rival. What are disco fries?
Hold on, let's think about this one.
Is it like glow sticks? Like rave glow sticks?
Don't think too hard. It's not that. No.
Is it just?
You're gonna.
Oh,
just-
no, I give up.
What comes into your mind? Disco fries.
Weed.
It's just French fries topped with cheese and gravy.
Oh,
There you go.
that's
all
like
it is.
poutine almost.
It's like poutine.
Right,
yeah,
right.
basically.
Why do they call it that though? I mean, just call
Because
it.
you get them after you've been to the disco. You come out of the disco, you're tired, you're hungry, you get
You
some
get the
disco,
disco
fries,
fries.
and Wawa, and then we're gonna go down to the shore. Hey,
What's a hoagie?
that's a big
Oh,
old
it's like
sandwich.
it's like a big sandwich. Yeah.
That's that. I guess is It's like it's also sometimes known as a hero.
Yeah, a
or
hero sandwich.
grinder.
Yeah.
What is a tomato pie?
Tomato pie. It's a pizza.
It is a pizza. Well, not really. It's kind of like a more like focaccia-y, like pizza-y thing.
Right.
Because none of these things, none of these like American pizzas are actually like pizzas at all, are they?
Oh.
All these Americans say, yeah, it's nothing like a pizza.
I mean, that
It's
fucking...
like a bread with
that
tomato
fucking-
and cheese on it.
Yeah, that
It's like,
fucking deep dish they
sounds-
do. What is it, Chicago deep dish? Have you ever
Yeah.
seen one of those things? Oh my god, it looks disgusting.
It's just like it's like a bit of pastry with
And then
sauce poured in.
stuffed crusts as well. Oh man,
Just
I don't know how
vile.
anybody eats that stuffed crust. It's just too much. Like
Just-
one slice and you're dead.
The boss. Who's the boss?
the boss.
Bruce Springsteen.
The boss.
Boss.
That's
It
Bruce.
is it is Bruce Springsteen.
Why is that
Sips.
surprise? Everybody knows it's Bruce
Everybody
Springsteen. He's
knows
the
that.
boss.
I don't know if everyone knows that. I didn't know
believe
that.
me, they
well,
know.
now you know.
No, do they know now?
No,
For
they
sure.
knew
do
that.
know
They,
now.
they
Everybody
knew,
listens
and
to
they
this.
now know.
What about AC? Where is AC?
Atlantic
City.
City.
It is Atlantic City. That's right. And finally, something which is very Triforce centric: jug handle.
Nice.
What is a jug handle?
Is that like something that you assault another prisoner with?
What after you finish jugging them?
A jug
Yeah.
handle. Is it like a love handle?
No,
Oh, I don't know then.
it's a Jersey left. Does that help?
Oh, they take a left turn then. So you bang a left.
No, it's like a extra bit of an intersection
Oh,
that's
okay.
been added to help you turn
Oh,
left.
right.
Oh,
So it's an
right.
extra bit on the right hand side. So you turn off to the right, and then you go on. It's like a slipway onto the adjacent road. You see, and so then you can.
Right.
Clever.
You don't have to cross the whole intersection.
Oh, that's
you just
good, yeah.
cross onto the other road.
That's a good idea.
They got a lot
It
of
is a
stuff
good
like that
idea.
on American roads to help you get around. You know,
Yeah.
very
Well, they got a lot. They got a lot of
driving-centric
space.
country.
A lot of space.
Yeah.
A lot of cars. But when I went to Boston, the other guys. This was for a Dota thing. The other guys were joking about bang a right or bang a left sort of thing, because the driving is meant to be even worse in Boston than the rest of America. Which, believe me, Americans, is saying something. You guys are terrible drivers. Just saying. The van that picked us up from the airport to take us to the hotel, we were in a car accident on the way to the hotel. I mean, having been warned about the driving in Boston, this guy just turned into us and a school bus.
Nice.
And he was like, "Hey, what are you fucking doing? Hey!" But, in a Boston accent.
Well, you see, like these other countries, like Vietnam, where they just seem to have no road crossings.
Well,
or,
they don't
any,
even
any
have
kind of
markings
at all.
on the roads. Yeah,
And it's just this chaotic
India
mess
is
of.
like that as well, isn't it?
But apparently, like that's in a way quite safe because the lack of markings gives people awareness, right? And so they're constantly paying attention. Whereas when you're given very strict markings, you follow them, and anyone who breaks that ends up,
This is bollocks.
getting
No,
clonked.
that's bollocks. Road safety,
It does sound like
safety
bollocks,
is
doesn't it?
unbelievably bad in most of those countries.
But that's one of the things they do in the city centres is they've been nowadays removing markings, right, and making this weird. I watched a video about it on YouTube about how like it's actually safer to take out markings and just have this weird car plus person byway where everyone just mixes together and it's just a mishmash, and it's apparently caused less accidents.
Which 6 countries do you
It's
think?
counterintuitive.
Which
Heath
6
Flax.
countries do you think are safer than the United Kingdom for driving? There are only 6 countries in the world with less deaths per year. Which do you think?
Canada?
New Zealand.
New Zealand is not one of them. Canada is not one of them.
Japan.
Are you serious?
Japan is not one of them.
I thought
Okay.
Canada would be one of them just because it has a lower population. It's a bigger place. Like,
Canada's twice as bad as Britain.
All right. Wow. Okay. What about Iceland?
Nope.
Bad roads. Think of good
Peru.
roads.
No. God, no. Shall I give you one? I'll give you the 2. Actually, I'll give you 3 that are
Italy.
that you'll
They
never
use
get.
all the horns.
No,
Beep, beep, beep,
Italy
beep,
is
beep.
awful.
That helps.
So
No.
Monaco,
Okay.
Hong Kong, and the Federated States of Micronesia, very safe. There are 3.
Don't
there are
give
3.
me those.
There are 3. I didn't give you those. I'm giving you those because you'll never get them. I'm giving you 3
Okay.
countries that are not that far from us that are safer.
France.
No.
Belgium.
No. Think of
Netherlands. Denmark.
No, think of somewhere where you would
Finland.
think that is the home of safe
Norway.
cars. Norway is one of them.
Sweden.
Sweden is the other one. What's the
Switzerland.
third? Switzerland. You've looked it up. You've looked it up. Quite
No,
clearly.
I'm just naming European countries.
Okay, well,
he was just thinking of those
bossed
smart
through
places.
all
All
3.
right,
Well
fair
done.
enough.
Thank you.
Really, Sweden, surprising because you'd think the bad weather would cause more slipping accidents and all the stuff. You know?
No, I mean, also, obviously, it's a lot of space for less people, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You think the weather, but they have. Think of Volvos, man. Very safe cars. Very safe cars in Sweden.
Well, that just because they're safe doesn't mean they crash into stuff less.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Do you know what I
I'm talking
mean?
about deaths per year. That was the statistic.
Oh, right.
I
So
love
what you're
Sweden,
saying-
man. I would like to.
I
I
love Sweden.
actually would love to live in Sweden one day.
Yeah, I think
just
I
think
could live in
they've got
Sweden.
it sewn up. Like it just seems like such a great country.
Yeah,
the people,
it's great.
everybody I've ever met from Sweden's been pretty nice and stuff too. They're always like pretty chill. Like I don't know. It just seems like such a nice place.
So, by the way, for anyone saying, well, that's because they've got less cars. So, if you go per 100,000 motor vehicles per year, the list is not that much change. San Marino, Norway, Switzerland, Sweden, Finland, us. Then Japan. So, we're doing all right.
Wow.
I got some London slang here.
Okay.
I wonder if you know these.
The apples and
sips.
pears and
Go on then.
No,
me old
Let's
mucker
hear it.
More
and-
just kind of.
These are
like-
more modern.
It's not Cockney slang then. It's just sort of
Yeah, like what is? Do you know
more
what peng
general.
means?
Yes, peng, mate. She's well peng. It's a peng ting. It's good.
Means good looking. Yeah, I guess. Is
She's a
what
peng
it is.
ting. But you can also describe pretty much anything as peng, I believe.
Like a painting, but not.
No.
Do you know what? This is quite a good one actually. Irrelevant for the pub. What is next man? What's a next man?
Next man. He's next man. He's the guy
What's that?
he's after
The
you.
guy who has to. The guy who's after. Is it the guy? The
He's the
person who's got to
barkeep. He's
pay
the
for the
guy
next
behind the
round or
bar.
something? Oh, it's that guy.
No, it's not. It's someone who joins in a conversation when they're not involved.
Oh.
Apparently.
I like that one. I've
I
never
like
heard
that. That's me in this podcast a lot of the time.
That is both of my kids almost all the time. like fairly
Right.
consistently.
I feel you find that sometimes at the pub, do you know what I mean? Or like, back in the heady pub days.
You get that on airplanes sometimes too. If you're traveling with somebody and you're having a chat, sometimes somebody will just like butt in, and then you're still on a 10-hour flight, and that it becomes really awkward because they've joined into a conversation and then you sort of have to acknowledge them for the rest of the flight and maybe talk to them again and stuff. Have you ever had that?
Yeah. What
No?
about?
Okay.
Yes. Well, what about Chung?
Chung?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I'd describe you as really Chung.
Oh, extremely handsome.
It is apparently. Yeah.
Big balls, but really, really small penis.
Huge
Like,
testicles, but a little tiny
just a
tiny nozzle.
tiny little ding-a-ling down there.
So chirpsing is flirting, of course. For those of you who didn't know that. What about fresh?
Like new, or,
like-
or if you get
As in
like
to,
well
you know,
to get
dressed.
fresh.
P Flax is looking fresh.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he's looking good. He's well dressed. And
What is
everything, right,
cotch?
surely. Oh, that's your house, I think.
Apparently, it's to sit and chill.
Oh, right.
Cotch.
Okay. I'm thinking of crib.
Oh,
Back at the crib.
some of these are very. I guess it's easy to overlap this with like American kind of slang.
Yeah, but
isn't
like
it?
some of it, like mate, just cotch would like if you said that to someone, would that mean just sit? Like, it's difficult because London slang, especially the more modern London slang, doesn't seem to have any origin in other words. Like peng, I don't know where that's come from or what it's related to. Out of context, you could have. There's no way of guessing other than
I've heard
using
that
it
a
in a
few
word.
times. I've heard that a few times. People use that.
Barry
locally.
mainly, I'd guess.
Yeah. What about? I haven't heard this. What's tonk? Someone who you would describe as tonk or
Very
someone
buff,
who is
like a
tonk.
big, strong person.
Yeah, a muscular person.
Right. Like
What
hench.
about if you got taxed or you taxed someone?
You got mugged?
I guess you steal from them. Yeah.
Jeez. Jeez.
The other one I've obviously had a lot of is tune.
Right. Tune. Yeah, that's like a
Tune.
good song.
What else have we got? There's loads of
See,
them.
I didn't actually grow up in London, so much of this slang is
Yeah.
way before
And the thing is,
I
like,
moved
some
here.
of it, some of the slang could be newer as well, right? And some
Oh,
of it
yeah.
sounds newer, so it's like maybe a bit sort of like like all of the Twitch things that like we don't understand, like pee hands and
There's
all
three
those ones.
here. There's three here, which I'll give you a clue. Two of them to do with dating. One is link. Can you guess what that is?
Is that like exchange numbers?
It's to hook up with someone.
Oh.
Like link up, I guess.
To link
Right.
body parts in a pleasing manner. I shall link with
Well-
you. Yes, link with me.
Link completed. Mm.
And then lips.
Well,
What does that mean?
It
Lips.
could mean anything.
to kiss someone?
Kiss passionately,
Right.
apparently. And lush, obviously.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we all know lush means.
Good looking, but also long. What this isn't to do with
What about lush is in the context of like somebody who gets like a bit handsy when they're drunk, like a lush?
Yeah, like that.
No?
That would be the old term of a
That's the
lush
old-
is someone who
that's
gets
the-
drunk when everybody else is not getting drunk. I think.
Yeah.
Sort of,
That's something that your Jersey mum might get.
Yeah.
She's getting a bit lush on the sherry and the port, you know.
That's a different podcast.
What does long mean then?
What does long mean? Well, it means apparently when something involves far too much effort. Oh, it's well long.
Mate, that's long.
Well long, mate.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
long mate.
It's going to take too long, I guess. I don't know. I've never heard of these, but
Some
they're
of these
obviously
Alright, do you know what
Never heard
a
of.
you know what a crepe is?
like a pancake.
like a crepe,
No, not like
like a
that.
delicious pancake.
crepe. Crepe.
It's really bad. It's crap.
It's a shoe.
What?
Yeah,
A sh-
your crepes.
shoe.
Is your shoes.
What does chief? What does chief mean?
You just call someone chief, don't you? It's like
Yeah, don't you just call somebody chief? Hey there, chief.
I thought it meant like an unintelligent person. I thought it was like an insult.
how do you
in
get to be chief, Lewis?
Yeah, you don't just get to. Maybe it's his born into privilege.
I mean,
that
yeah, it might
everybody
be
seems so
privilege,
upset
might be
about.
connections, but he's the chief.
He
You gotta
doesn't
respect
deserve
that.
to be the chief. He's not my chief. Not my chief. Not my chief.
The last one. What about butters? What does butters mean?
Really,
This is that
really
guy
good.
It's got that guy from the kid from South Park, right?
no, it
He
means
gets
it
picked on a lot.
It's part of a longer one. Butter face.
Oh, yeah, she's got a good body but a bad face.
It just means ugly.
Right.
But butters.
That's not nice.
Yeah, I've
That's
heard that
that's
used.
rude.
That's not nice.
It's rude. You might say someone was well butters. Sips his wife's mum.
Jeez.
She's lush and she's butters.
Oh my God, Lewis! You've met her before as well. It's gonna be awkward next
I
time you
like her a
speak to her.
lot. She's lovely. I think she would appreciate.
I'm not sure she
she
would.
would.
I think you've misread that actually. But anyway, let's carry on.
Well, I'm saying she's got a great body, Sips. you know.
Hey, okay. Well, anyway, She listens to this, by the way. You know.
No,
I got her
she
hooked up with
doesn't.
an iPod Nano, and
She does not.
iPod Nano. It's gone on shuffle again, and it's playing DMX.
What's he going to give to
Why is he
you?
going to give it to me?
Give it to somebody. Who is he giving it to and
What's
what?
he giving?
I don't want it, X. Thank you.
You can have it back, X.
Buy Cryex, please. No.
I cry.
All right, well, that's enough Triforce podcast for today. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks so much.
See you next week.
Have fun. Stay frosty.
As always, you could new episodes are available every Wednesday on Spotify and other platforms, and we have a Patreon which you can support if you look it up, where you get the episodes early.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I had to say at the end of that. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.